know, boys.
What's going on, guys? New lightsaber giveaway in today's video. All you have to do is hit like if you enjoyed the video and comment below. As the movie pans down through space, as it always does, we don't start with Poe like we did in the film. Rather, we see Mustafar come into view, when all of a sudden, Kylo Ren's TIE Destroyer, inspired by his grandfather, blasts past the camera, shaking the screen and speeding towards the volcano planet. As we get a close cockpit view of Kylo without his mask, sweating and nervous, he enters the atmosphere, landing on none other than Darth Vader's castle. As the ship's door opens and Kylo comes before the massive door to Darth Vader's fortress, he bows as we get an aerial shot of just how massive it is compared to him. Reaching out and using the Force to open the door, he is denied, as only Vader's presence could open the gates themselves. Looking to a bowl that rests on a small pillar in Kylo's eyes, he realizes this was intended for Vader's massive robotic height. The writing, he recognized it. He knew what he had to do. Grabbing a knife from his belt, he slit his palm and allowed the sacred Skywalker blood to drip down into the basin, recognizing that he was the heir to the throne. As the doors began to open, he realized that this must have been some sort of failsafe if Vader couldn't open the doors himself someday. As he enters inside, the lights begin to dim on, cold, dark, and mysterious. He looks to the left, the far left, Arabic writing inscribed on the wall, read Temple. Seeing stairs that led down a spiral stone staircase, he walks to it, determined, his footsteps echoing in the massive grand hall of his grandfather's castle. We're brought to the planet of Octu, where we see the beautiful ocean as Rey moves to hand an aged Luke Skywalker the lightsaber of his father. As Luke looks at it, stunned and bewildered, he takes the weapon, his mechanical hand observing it. He looks down at it as tears swell within his eyes, mumbling something to himself that Rey can't make out. Luke says through fought-back tears, "Father." As he looks up at Rey, a single tear streaming down his weathered, hairy face, he asks her, "Who are you?" As Rey tells him she's been sent here by his sister Leia to help fight the First Order and lead the Resistance as a beacon of hope. He looks down and shakes his head slowly, staring at the historic weapon. I can't. As she looks confused, watching him walk around, pocketing his old lightsaber, she follows him to his hut. "Why won't you help us? The galaxy needs you," she says. "I need more time. I'm not ready." As Luke turns to speak, he sees the Millennium Falcon far down below. Turning to Rey, he begins to trust her immediately. "Did you come alone?" he asked. "Where's Han? Where's Chewie?" As she moves to point, Luke runs past her and hugs Chewbacca, both of them emotional and have not seen one another for decades. As Luke looks up with a warm smile at his old friend, he makes a joke about Han being out of shape and taking forever to climb the steps. As Rey and Chewie fall silent, Luke steps backwards, a look of concern dawning over his face. "Where's Han?" As Rey begins to tell him, he silences her and looks to Chewie. "Chewie, where's Han?" As Chewie speaks Wookiee, Luke falls to the ground, crying tears harder than he can remember, as Chewie pulls him up and cries with him, explaining that Ben Solo has turned to the dark side fully and is the cause of Han's death as a means of providing his loyalty to Snoke. Luke begins to cry, this time not with sadness, but with rage. Every single hut around them begins to shake as stones fall and the clouds begin to circle the clear skies. Lightning crackling from above as the ground they stand on begins to separate, and Chewie lets out a massive roar to bring Luke back to his senses before he unleashes powers he kept dormant for decades in exile. As he stops his sobbing, he turns to Rey, the anger in his eyes beginning to swell, when all goes silent, and he says, "Where's Ben?" As General Leia leads the Resistance to fight the First Order in space, Poe Dameron is brought into view with his X-Wing in front of an entire battalion of rebels, new and old. Going through a several-minute high-action space battle against Hux and his fleet of destroyers, we see a scene similar to that in The Last Jedi, when Snoke finally appears before Hux as a hologram, furious, slamming Hux's face to the floor, where we see several of his teeth missing, or at least a crooked, broken nose, as the rebels begin to win against the First Order, with Admiral Akbar leading one of the battalions. Returning back to Mustafar, we see Kylo in Vader's dungeons, where his Sith temple was located beneath the castle itself. Surrounded by rivers of lava and cliffs leading to the planet's very core, he is surrounded by the ancient belongings of his grandfather. Walking past duplicates of his suit parts like an armor, he observes the ancient Sith holocrons scattered about, hoping to find what he was looking for, in search of something he has wanted for a long time, hoping that it even exists here to this day. He begins to become impatient, the dark side swelling further within him, as he hears a whisper. When he quickly turns to his left, no, it must have just been an echo, he thought to himself. When he hears the whisper of his name again in the cave below. As he walks to the opening, seeing nothing but darkness, he ignites his flickering red lightsaber and puts it in front of him, as he hears a woman call to him. This voice, it was a voice he had never heard before, but as if he knew who it was soft and beautiful. The voice of his own mother didn't sound so angelic. Moving through the darkness of the cave itself, unsure of anything just like his future, he used the crimson glow of his weapon as a guide.
Hold on, I'll be a thumbnail for the video. It's gonna be Anakin this time.
A cave leading to nowhere, he thought. The voice had vanished, but yet something still pulled him to this spot. To stay here, feel the voice. There it was again, but this time it was a man. He did not recognize this voice either. It was powerful, heroic. He wanted to hear it again.
Who are you? Speak to me. I order you to speak.
Feel. What did that mean? Kylo thought. As he sheathed his weapon, the blackness of the cave swallowing him like a nightmare. Kylo was not afraid. He reached out with his arm, fingers turning the Force to its very tune like a dial. The grandson of Skywalker was surely gifted with the Force itself, as a small platform-shaped box began to slide out from the cave's wall, illuminating the cave with a dim light that attracted Kylo to see what was inside. Feeling the rage build within him, this nonsense of the time being wasted, he saw it was nothing more than just a necklace, a misshapen wooden square, small enough to be abandoned in one's hand. Useless, he thought. He reached his hand within when he felt the world beneath him boom under his feet. In an open field, the sun glaring on his face, looking around, he heard birds, water. Where was he? What was this place? Laughter emanated to his way. Away from his face. That was when he saw a man and a woman. They were young. One wore the tunic of a Padawan, with a braid much like he had when he was younger, training under Luke Skywalker. Running towards them, the world began to shift again, when he found himself this time in the dark, staring at a massive glowing orb dancing about in a stadium filled with aliens from across the galaxy. Everything lost its brightness as two people from the back began to illuminate into view. They were almost close enough to hear. An old, short man with a long protruding nose sat next to some robed boy. He couldn't have been much younger than Kylo himself, seeing only the sides of their faces as Kylo yelled at them to respond. They didn't hear. He leaned forwards over one of the pods in hopes to get them to respond. When he fell below, the stadium whirling out of view as he landed in a red office. The color of a lightsaber that he had never seen before swung at his head. As he ducked and purple blurred, using his quick Skywalker reflexes, he ignited his lightsaber, but it was too late. The purple haze had gone back through to his head and sliced him to meet the red of another. Kylo was unharmed, turning around to see the face of the same old man from the opera. Swinging at them both, the red of his lightsaber blinds his vision to reveal that he is in a Jedi temple, but not like Master Luke's. This one was much larger. It was empty, however. Hearing blaster fire, he raised his already ignited lightsaber as he sought Jedi Masters all around him, as they surrounded the same young man as before in the opera. The man bared a scar, much like his on his face above his right eye. He used the Force like only Kylo could dream of, swinging his blue lightsaber with such speed and precision, dropping all the Jedi around him to the floor. Seeing children run away in fear as the man walked further into the abyss, as the ground opens up to bring Kylo back to the planet he was on. But something was different. Where was Vader's castle? Where was his ship? As he looked to the right, he saw a bearded man jump to a hill, waving his arms to someone. There he was, again. The same young man with the long feathered hair from the opera and the office and the temple. He looked different, his eyes defiant and full of hatred. Kylo began to realize what was happening. As Obi-Wan walked past him, tears in his eyes, Kylo went to see what waited for him at the bottom of the hill. The sight threw him to his knees as he began to gasp for air, unable to breathe at all. He was strapped to a bed, in agonizing pain he didn't even know could exist, screaming for help, for someone to get him out of this dream. Unable to fathom how he was still alive, he saw that decrepit old man again, cloaked, hovering over him like a devil, like a phantom, as he began to laugh and raise his hands, sparking purple light as Kylo landed out of breath back on the stone floor. Kylo threw the jewels away.
This is good.
His face whiter than a ghost. He scurried from the cave like a lost dog, and as he was about to enter the lava-surrounded temple, he was frozen in place and levitated into the air, again, unable to breathe, this time without his control. As the shot pans to the back of Snoke's scarred head and the collar of his elegant, expensive, and ancient golden robes, bringing Kylo towards him with the Force, his massive hand hovering above Kylo, waiting for him to come closer. The giant gold-encrusted obsidian black ring on his finger. As the camera slowly lowers to his other hand by his side, we see him twirling something between his fingers. A familiar black and chrome object. As we see Snoke's perched and ugly lips, voice.
Come, boy. I have what you seek.
Well, that was part.
Based on the blockbuster that has critics craving. It's the all-new Buffalo Chicken Nacho Fries, topped with shredded chicken and drizzled with tangy buffalo sauce. Bring home this mouth-watering sequel with Taco Bell delivery.
Roger, Roger.
It's unfair.
Hey everyone, what is going on? So finally, I know it's been about 4 months now, and I'm back with part 2 of 4, where we were the Last Jedi. Now, first to reiterate, of course, I'm not trying to dog Ryan Johnson or put down this one anyway. Of course, this is just another fan fiction for you all to enjoy, and something that has been for many of you to continue to complete. So here is the part 2 of part 4. Now, for those of you who don't know, I am in the process of making a Vader fan web series. I'm sure a lot of you know by now. I put a lot of time and resources into this, so if you do want to support the channel and everything I do for future videos, please go down to the link down below and check it out. Now keep in mind, we're starting off from the end of this video here, so if you haven't checked it out, I'm going to link it down below, or you can just go find it from my channel right now. It's on my page. So without further ado, let's begin today's fanfiction. As Rey begins to tell Luke that Ben is at the top of the First Order with Supreme Leader Snoke, that Leia sent her there to be trained by him, to bring him back. He says, there's no time for that. You need to go back to them, to Leia, and tell her to go to Bespin and speak to a man named... Why am I telling you this? Luke turns to Chewbacca. Chewie, get Lando. Get him to Leia. Go, now! As Chewie leaves immediately back down the steps of the Falcon, he roars for Rey to come with him, as she steps towards Luke, asking him if he'll come with them or not. He speaks to her while looking at the ground, softly but full of strength, as if it had been dormant for years. I can't go. Not yet. There's something I need to do first. This has gone far enough. What have I done? Locked myself away on this island, ashamed of my own failures to not turn Ben into what I feared. That's not the way of the Jedi. That's a coward. And I am a Jedi, like my father. Luke paused and turned to face the distance, his face beginning to frown. My father. Go with Chewie, you're wasting time. But I need to learn the Force. It's been calling me my whole life. I just want to understand it. Fine, says Luke. Your first lesson is to follow your intuition. Feel the Force within you. You won't have to look far. It's in you, in the land, it's in the skies, and the sea. Be receptive to its energy, and in time, you will learn to control it.
Yo, I'm gonna go put the pizza in the oven, and we're gonna start up dominating.
suck it down. You suck it down.
What? Let's suck it down. Look at this.
That's better.
Pink blocks. Hey, you guys stop using them. Yeah. So. What? I didn't spoil it, but there you go. It was in the cup. I didn't steal it.
You put a finish in there.
I didn't pay. Actually, I don't put a penny to I remember it. I didn't pay. You're not quite chilly. Ether, right? There you go. You're doing this. Right. I accidentally put it in the wrong cup. Yeah, you got to see it in another cup. Yes, it was. That's exactly where I put it back. I didn't take it with this. I put it in this one. Look. I literally put it in this one. Baby. Talk to your mom later. You got to school.
Yeah, really.
No, I don't.
That's really a deal.
Yeah. Banana, 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 banana. Alright, guys, I want to get back real quick. I'm going to go through reverse villains. No, I didn't. I heard the monster. What? No, I don't like it. I don't like it. Alright, watch this. Watch this, watch this, watch this. Twilight Cat's better. Cats don't know better. What? Bro, cats actually like me. Nothing.
If you can. Now go! As Ray watches Luke turn away to his hut, she hesitantly leaves the sun beginning to set on the dark twinkling. As the falcon flies away from October, Luke stops as he enters the door to his window. As the wind blows strongly through his hair, how long have you been standing there? As we're taken to Vader's back to tank room on Mustafar, Snoke tells Kylo to enter the chamber to heal his face wounds from Rey's lightsaber as best as could be done. Kylo does so and begins to close his eyes as his master speaks.
Feel, do not think.
It's important to have a reliable network. We all use it in different ways.
Everyone in your family is different.
Someone's streaming sports, someone's video chatting their friends.
So Verizon has plans to mix and match starting at $35 and up to $700 toward our best phones. The network more people rely on gives you more.
Link, your grandfather's very essence lies within this fortress. Use it.
As Kylo closes his eyes, he begins to see images of Vader that we've never seen before. Flashes again of him burning. Flashes of him behind the mask. Vader building his... Flashes again of him burning. Flashes of him behind the mask. Vader building his lightsaber for the first time. Dead bodies, clone troopers, Padme, lightsaber, the old man. Then he began to feel agony, terror, sadness. He opened his eyes in the back to tank, only to feel a fraction of what it was to be Vader. Everything inside of him couldn't handle the pain, couldn't handle the power that emanated from this chamber. He wanted to get out of it, but he knew that this was the only way. He needed more. Kylo closed his eyes. He went deeper into these visions. As Snoke walked down the steps, he entered the catacombs of Vader's castle. This was where he got his obsidian ring, inscribed with the ancient Dwarti. The Dwarti were the same golden figures in Palpatine's office who Revenge of the Sith, for those who don't know. As Snoke walks before an ancient stone wall, he closes his eyes, reaches out with the Force, and shatters the entire thing as if it were made of glass. But no stone falls. Moving them all with his mind, rotating them in place, he turns them into sand, falling to the floor and lava around. Moving towards the room that he just opened, he comes across a scripture written in ancient writing.
The prophecy.
He says to himself, it's a scroll, an old one. Could this be the ancient prophecy of the chosen one, or something else? But why was it here? Retrieving what he needed, Snoke walks up to Vader's chamber to gather Kylo and take him back to the ship to observe his training. Walking through the door, he notices all of the glass in the back of the tank suspended in the air, along with the liquid flowing perfectly in shape around Kylo. His eyes closed, deep in trance. Snoke summons Kylo's lightsaber without making a sound. The Force guiding him in the corner of the room as he floats it to Ben's head and ignites it. It sometimes slowed down itself, at least for Kylo. He instinctively knew what was going on and moved his head back to avoid the saber's fire. The sparks an inch from his face as he raised his hand to grab his weapon. The glass and bacta fluid dropping to the floor as Snoke separated him, walking to his apprentice.
You have learned well, boy. Come, we're leaving.
You closed yourself off from the wolves for far too long. I don't want anything to do with it. You saw Ben did. He's just like his grandfather. That means he can be
Maybe you have.
Luke,
I'm doing it right now.
Master Yoda. I know. I failed you all.
No, build yourself. You have. A Jedi never loses his way. Matter not. How tragic. Lose my way, did I? After Skywalker destroyed everything and everyone I knew, flee, I did, like you. But lose who I was, did I? No.
Yoda is right, Luke. You've been twisted by this Snoke into hiding yourself away. It's not too late. You've lost Han. How many more would it take you to wake up? Ben? Leia? Luke looked at them, tearful-eyed, but with determination, a look of fire and hope that they hadn't seen in him for decades. He didn't speak. His right hand reaches out as he closes his eyes and both Obi-Wan and Yoda look at him with a smirk, looking down as if trying to see something through his eyelids. Concentrating hard, feeling the Force. That sound, something was breaking from miles away, flying through the sea, earth, trees, air itself, and finally breaking the brick wall of his hut. Igniting the green blade, looks at his old weapon. Looks up.
Look at you going for the weakest one.
Obi-Wan smiling, looks up and says, the weapon of a Jedi Knight, transfixed on the emerald green blade. Luke says, no, a Jedi Master.
Man, fuck off, you piece of shit. How are you gonna...
Well, there you are, guys. I know 4 months just for that, but it really took a while for me to create something that was not tacky or lame, but something that was very heartfelt and kind of gets the point across, but also leaves you wanting more for part 3. Now, I hope obviously part 3 won't take me another 4 months, but as you know, I am very, very busy with this whole beta web series that I'm for myself. So if you guys have suggestions, I will be taking all of your suggestions down below in the comments. So let me know what should happen from here, and I will do my best to get this out for you next month. I thank you all for your time and patience in waiting for this part 2. I hope it was worth it. I know it was short, and that's why I wanted getting part 3 as quickly as possible. I just want to make sure it's done right, and I don't want to rush it out for views or just getting something done for the sake of getting it done. I want it to be done right. So it took some time for me to get my creative edge a little bit here, as I wrote a ton of different drafts for this, but I just scrapped them all into one. Except for this one. I like this one. I think it turned out well. Now, obviously, there are a few different possibilities as to where this could go in part 3. First of all, I'm thinking I could take this piece from an old fanfiction that I did about The Last Jedi, where Luke basically goes out after talking to Yoda and Obi-Wan about new Force powers and things like that they've learned, and he goes up onto the cliff of Batuu and summons his X-Wing that is down below in the ocean.
This is you. Or at least it could be you. You've been island hopping through Greece with a group of people you just met who at this very moment are cheering you on as you jump off a boat. Which, to be honest, is a little scary, but YOLO, FOMO, carpe diem, right? Right. We're EF Ultimate Friends, the best way to see the world for anyone 18 to 29. We handle everything. You just travel. We've got people that do this, people that do that, and people all over the world who literally plan every detail of your trip to make sure it's
The ocean. This is kind of paying homage to the Empire Strikes Back, where Luke wasn't strong enough, and therefore he is now, showing a good amount of character transformation in terms of power, knowledge, and everything else that we want for Luke to achieve. Now, as for where he goes after that, I'm thinking either he goes and meets Snoke on his ship, or perhaps goes to Vader's castle himself, and then goes to what he finds at his father's fortress, which could be interesting in itself. There are different things that Luke could open in the fortress that Kylo couldn't. After all, Luke did find many things from the Emperor's journal and data file, so the possibilities are pretty endless here. As for the Vader fan film web series, I hope you guys are all excited. I'm hoping shooting will start by September, and I am filming myself. So if you guys do enjoy the channel, be sure to hit like, do support down below, and leave comments, and I can't wait to read them. With all that said, thank you everyone for watching. I will see you all in the next episode of Star Wars Theory. Be sure to hit like on this video if you enjoyed it and you want more. Until the next episode, remember, my fellow Jedi and Sith friends,
The Force
Hey everyone, so today's fanfiction will cover something we want to do. It's what if Obi-Wan never went to Mustafar? I think there are so many different possibilities here that we could theorize on since Obi-Wan snuck onto Padme's ship. So let's try to see what would have happened if he just didn't go to the planet altogether. I know in some fanfictions I like to stray away off the storyline while others are action-packed. I'm going to try and make this one as realistic as I can to the storyline and what the characters would do in each situation had they gone differently. So assuming Obi-Wan spoke with Padme and their discussion led to the same dialogue where she hears that her husband murdered Deathwings and against the Jedi, we
Man,
can pretty
fuck
much
off,
conclude this
Kylo.
and sped away to meet Anakin on Mustafar. Let's assume, for a moment, for this video's sake, Obi-Wan sticks with today's story, which would be in respect for wishes to not. If he used his judgment, he would have known better than anyone that following her there and showing up unannounced would only infuriate Anakin even more in his most imbalanced state, making him want to beat his chest in front of Padme and cause a huge dramatic scene where he goes into a blacked-out rage and possibly endangering her life, which is exactly what happened. If Obi-Wan never went to Mustafar, Padme would go to meet Anakin and the conversation would continue to go the same route it did, where she would tell him to run away with her and raise their child on Naboo. This would be met with Anakin telling her that they don't have to run, that he can overthrow the Emperor, and that they can rule the galaxy together. While of course he was still in a massive level of fight or flight after everything he had done, he did begin to slowly internalize the thought of leaving with her. Now, on a side note, guys, this part isn't so much fanfiction, rather more so fact, as if we refer to the book The Rise of Darth Vader. He reminisces about this exact moment, mentioning how he was trying to explain to her everything that was going on, and then leaving with her until Obi-Wan showed up, ruining and changing everything, fueling his rage. Padme would tell him that what he did was not right, where he would then tell her how the Jedi had been plotting to kill the Chancellor and constantly denied him the rank of Master, which would have allowed him access to the restricted section and thus the knowledge to save her without turning to Palpatine. As they continued to argue, their love for one another would only grow stronger in the fear of losing each other with all that has happened. Padme would turn and dramatically run away from Anakin. She gets into her ship and speeds off into the distance. Doing the same, he follows her throughout the galaxy, and they come before a beautiful green and blue planet. He knew where she was taking them. Landing back at the palace on Naboo, where they shared their first kiss, Anakin got out of his ship to the sounds of birds gently soaring over the waveless lake. Hit with flashes of when he was still a Padawan, when she looked so beautiful at the pier, and when he mentioned his hatred for sand. Moving to grab her arm, he could see the pain that he caused her. Maybe the path that he was following was wrong. Look at everything he had done. He had destroyed the life that he had known, the life he swore to protect. This place, however, had already helped him forget. It helped him come back to his center, back to his Jedi training to keep a level head. Flashes of younglings and all those he had killed appeared before his eyes, swaying back and forth as if he were on a rocky ship, his eyes flickering orange and turning to their normal blue. "What have I done?" he shouted as he collapsed on the floor as Padme and her servants put him on the sofa to rest. Waking up just moments later, he went outside to stand in the same spot he did all those years ago. When he had nightmares of his mother meditating, he remembered who he was and caught the reflection of his eyes in the water. This wasn't him. This was not Anakin's spell. This was what Palpatine wanted him to become. He had to change, but it wasn't too late. Anakin had been manipulated. Padme knew it, he knew it, and so no one. He wondered if his old master was still alive. Going to his ship, he tried to contact him. Receiving a weak signal, Master Kenobi answered in a cry.
Anakin, what have you done?
Looking down at the console, yeah, what he did. The temper and rage had subsided. Anakin was with Padme. She was safe. It was all he ever wanted.
Master, I must find you. I must fix what I've done. Anakin, you destroyed everything. You must be stopped, even if I have to do it myself. I understand. Master, I have betrayed the Jedi.
Wow.
And by the Lake of Naboo, you must stop the Emperor before it's too late.
Anakin, come to Coruscant immediately. I sense Master Yoda is in trouble.
Without a moment's hesitation, Anakin set his ship for Coruscant, waving to Padme, who ran out to stop him. There was no time for that. Anakin's rage was returning. It was Palpatine all along. He manipulated him all these years, pulling each string with such a charm and masterful politics. He was the true threat behind everything from his
Why did I spawn on here?
Padme's assassination attempts. Meeting Obi-Wan at the old Jedi Temple, his eyes flowed with tears as he saw the dead bodies scattered outside. This was his doing.
Anakin, we don't have time.
As they sped to Palpatine, they could feel the raw power, the two most powerful Force users in the known galaxy, exploding with energy with every moment that passed. Entering the office, they saw the Senate floor.
That's a high rise system.
Laughter and lightning and crackling from above. Jumping to the Senate Stadium to see after pods spinning and being hurled at two figures so far in the distance, they could only be made out by the colors of their lightsaber.
Come, Anakin, we must get to the top.
Using the Force to leap bounds up the Senate as a lightning blast burst with energy, sending Yoda insidious in opposite directions. As he looked up, he saw the outstretched hand of Obi-Wan, while Anakin stood next to him. Getting to his feet, he pushed Anakin into the Senate pod, away from them with such force it would kill the Force. Getting up from the shock, Anakin pleaded for Yoda to forgive him, as Obi-Wan looked at the Master, nodding.
Your fate later determined by me.
As they all looked up and saw 20 Senate pods raised and spinning, Darth Sidious, ruler of the galaxy, laughed to the sky. The sound of multiple lightsabers all ignited in unison.
Face your darkness, I will. Master without a Jedi order.
Alrighty guys, I know I want part 2 to go for this one. I'm thinking there should be a death to make it a little more realistic. But I'll leave that part for you to decide.
Yeah, Palpatine's
Comment
fucking
below your
weird.
ending and I'll get started on that for you all. I wasn't sure exactly what direction to take this one. However, I knew that if we're going to have a light-sided ending, then Anakin needs to turn back to the light. And the only way he can do that is through bad ways to do it. Thank you for watching today's fanfiction, and I'll see you all in the next episode of Star Wars Theory. Until then, my fellow Jedi and Sith friends, remember,
The Force will be with you always. Fulfill your destiny.
Everybody has that game that they fell in love with. It's not my fault that these watermelons don't explode like real heads.
I can get you real heads. Not human.
That's commitment.
Hey guys, I still got that 20% off sale going on, but what I want to announce is that I'm making some brand new merch for the end of summer, and I'm going to have another big sale for back to school with some brand new designs for you, so stay tuned. Check out my other brand new Canon Dooku videos after this one.
Oh, he's open. I had him open.
Since Star Wars Episode 2, Count Dooku has always fascinated me. Not only can he take on Yoda in a lightsaber fight, but his charismatic energy attracted nearly half the Republic to abandon thousands of years of precedent and follow him to the Separatists. He undoubtedly would have been a suitable replacement for Darth Sidious as the ruler of the galaxy. In Legends, we had a ton of information about why he left the Jedi Order and why he turned to the dark side. And definitely you guys can check those out if you haven't already. But finally, now, the new canon is filling in these gaps for us. In the new canon audiobook, Dooku Jedi Lost, we follow Dooku's journal from the time he was a youngling to when he leaves the Jedi Order. We get into his head like never before, and all his experiences were glimpses into why he left the Jedi. I'll go over a few of these experiences and how
Why?
he reacts to them. To start, Dooku's discontent with the Jedi began when he was still a youngling and accidentally met his sister Jenza on his home world of Sereno. He felt such a strong connection with her that Dooku secretly kept in contact with her throughout the years. No one knew, except for his best friend, Sifo Dyas, until a Jedi Master named Lane Costana found the holocron Dooku was using, where he would communicate with his sister regularly. Costana isn't one for rules, but even she freaks out a little from time to time. Now, Jedi don't maintain contact with their families. That's just not something you do. Look what happened to Anakin with his mother. They forbade it. That's the definition of attachment, and it's totally against the Jedi way. It compromises their decisions like nothing else. Young Dooku actually thinks that his attachment to her has made him a stronger Jedi. He even goes as far as saying that not having attachments are making the Jedi weaker. He says the Jedi are supposed to protect the galaxy, and yet we remove ourselves from it. We cut ourselves off. Jenza has listened to his worries and emotions and has been his guiding light. If the Force is in all living things,
Yes!
Jedi reach, is it possible that the Force could have been working through her for him all these years? Do the Jedi have a monopoly on the Force? Why should he not be able to look to other sources for guidance? The Jedi ultimately tell Dooku to break off contact with Jenza, which he ignores to a certain degree. A second instance of why Dooku left the Jedi occurred many years later, when Dooku is training Qui-Gon Jinn. By then, he feels the Jedi are puppets.
I just took the piece out of the oven.
Bits of an ineffective
Hey, honey, don't eat all those because those are my
insult to the Force they serve and the Jedi power in it. One day, he and Qui-Gon attend a big race on Coruscant as official guests of some government officials. Why are we here? Dooku complains. It's good public relations, answers Qui-Gon. And why should we care what the public thinks of us? We have a job to do and should do it, not be wheeled out like exhibits at a freak show, says Dooku.
Oh, I thought that was my
That's harsh. says confidently, but it's true.
It's a fucking lie.
And what good are we doing here, drinking and making chit-chat? Our predecessors pushed boundaries, explored the galaxy. They made a difference, Qui-Gon. Today, we're anachronisms, who only act when politicians give their assent. Half the people here think we're nothing more than a glorified police force, or enforcers for the Senate. Dooku pauses. Qui-Gon isn't sure what to say, and the other half? Asks Qui-Gon. They don't think of us at all. We're irrelevance, answers Dooku. Dooku hated that the Jedi weren't doing everything they were capable of in the galaxy. He felt a lot like Anakin would years later. If the Jedi were the most powerful beings in the universe, why weren't they acting like it? Dooku hated being subject to the Senate, but hated even more so that the Jedi were okay with it. Why did they have to answer to a Senate that was corrupt and ineffective when the Jedi could solve most of the universe?
That's fucking dumb. Yo, what's up, bro? Hope you're done. Shit. Why's my pillars keep fucking falling?
Problems. They had become a political token, nothing more. Knowing this about Dooku makes a lot of sense of why he turns to the dark side later. Wouldn't an emperor who has the Force be a much more powerful and effective leader than the Republic and its subservient Jedi? The short answer is yes. The Empire arguably got a lot more done under the rule of Palpatine than the Republic, so Dooku was, in a sense, right. The third instance we learn in the book is that Dooku felt the Jedi were so far gone from the ideal that even their own members couldn't trust them. Dooku was shattered by the fact that Master Braylon didn't confess to the Order about having her own child and bringing him to the temple to train. After the whole incident, Dooku spoke to Yoda about it.
Yes, worrying it is,
says Yoda. Worry? It's tragic, yells Dooku. One of our own makes a mistake and what happens? Does she confide in us? No. She's afraid of what we might do to her and her child.
Help! That is what we would have done. What we have always done.
That's easy to say now.
Monsters we are not. Feelings we have.
Feelings we suppress, Dooku shouts exasperately.
Trust in us, Braylon should have. Different things would be. Learn from this, we must.
But did they learn? We don't know how the Council would have reacted had Anakin told them about his child, which you should check out my video about that one. But we can look at what happened with Ahsoka. Ahsoka, if you recall, was framed for a terrorist plot, and the Jedi fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. They expelled her from the Order and turned her over to the Republic for a trial. Ahsoka would have been sentenced to death if it hadn't been for a last-minute confession by the actual guilty party. Ahsoka was pardoned by the Jedi in the end and invited to join the Order, but her faith in the Jedi was permanently shaken. How could the Council be truly following the Force if they were so easily deceived and swayed? Dooku had similar thoughts. Why didn't they sense Braylon's guilt from the beginning? Another instance which occurred with the Master Braylon conflict is when Dooku captures the crime lord, Lady Senevax, who corrupted Master Braylon and blackmailed her for years about her secret son. After Braylon's confession, Senevax was sent to the secret Jedi Citadel prison rather than being turned into the authorities. Dooku knew that the Jedi didn't want their reputation stained. A Jedi Master being corrupted by a crime lord and giving it to blackmail. How would that look to the rest of the Republic? He knew that people would question just how Braylon was able to keep it such a huge secret from the Jedi for so long. Why didn't they detect the treachery? If the Force is with them, as they like to say, then surely they would have sensed it. It sounds a lot like Ahsoka's feelings again. The Jedi had lost the ability to use the Force, something that Mace Windu doesn't admit until the Clone Wars. The final nail in Dooku's Jedi coffin is after he's a member of the Jedi Council. Sereno is taken over by Abyssin pirates, and his sister Jenza calls for him to come help. Both the Republic and the Jedi
I want my pizza back.
these tax prep services lets more people file for free? Is it TurboTax or H&R Block Online? We may never know. More people can file free with H&R Block Online than TurboTax. It's better with blocks.
George started playing football when he was 4 years old. He would wake up every Saturday ready for the game. That became our life. He had aspirations about going to the NFL. On a Friday morning, George was shot. George didn't survive. I just kept saying, you cannot tell me that the child that I gave birth to is no longer here. Lives are being lost every day. It is a national crisis. I heard Mike Bloomberg speak. He's been in this fight for so long, he heard mothers crying, so he started fighting. When I heard Mike Les stepping into the ring, I thought, now we have a dog in the fight. I know Mike is not afraid of the gun lobby. They're scared of him. And they should be. Mike's fighting for every child because you have a right to live. No one has a right to take your hopes and dreams.
I'm Mike Bloomberg, and I approve this message. News, though, because Sereno had stopped paying taxes and said that they didn't want to be a part of the Republic anymore. For Dooku, it was politics over people. He disobeyed the Jedi and went there himself to protect his home planet, and ultimately was victorious. But for Dooku and the Jedi, the damage was done. Dooku contacts Yoda and tells him that his future lies on Sereno. It's in this conversation that Dooku lets everything out.
Leaving the Order, you are.
I have no choice. The House of Sereno brought this planet to its knees. It is my responsibility, my duty, to rebuild it by whatever means possible.
And what of your duty to the Republic?
The Republic is changing, Yoda. Has changed. We all know it, even if we won't admit it. A moment ago, Master Costana told me the Senate will happily send what is needed to process our riches. I have no doubt that is true. And yet the very same Senate refused to send help when my sister begged them to stand against the Abyssinians. The Jedi refused to help. I am the heir of Sereno. I will rebuild this planet, make it stronger, not for the Republic, and not for the Jedi, but for the people. My people. I ask for you and the Council to respect my decisions in this matter.
Saddened by your decision, God, but respect it, we will.
Dooku then offered to surrender his lightsaber because it was the weapon of the Jedi, but Yoda declined.
Necessary, that will not be. Keep it, you must. More than a name, a Jedi is. More than a type.
Why am I not?
Strong in the Force, you are.
Why am I in the middle of a fucking match? Just to get that shit.
It must.
So in the end, Dooku felt the Jedi had lost their way and believed he could do more good outside of the Order rather than inside of it. Is that such a bad position to have? Possibly not. Now, something I find interesting that I'm going to explain very briefly here, and I can elaborate on it in another video if you wish, just let me know down below if you want that, is that Dooku actually never had intentions to fully fight Anakin in Revenge of the Sith. Palpatine told him that you're merely going to just toy with Skywalker. You're just going to kind of test him. You're not going to use your full skill and powers or anything like that. You're just going to basically see if you can disarm him, but don't go any further than that. Then, lo and behold, Anakin did get the best of him once he tapped into his dark side. And, well, after that, he all over Dooku. If you guys want to see a funny version of that ending,
I can't. I have to go into the match. Starting in the middle of it.
And I can't wait for you guys to see that. This is a series that I've wanted to do for a very long time, so I hope you guys stay tuned for that as well, and for the rest of the videos that will come on the channel. This was the full canon explanation of why Dooku left the Jedi Order. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know if you want me to cover the Lost 20 in canon explanation. I can go into depth on that.
What's up?
What's up, boy?
Huh?
I said, what's up, boy?
I'm older than you.
Alright, I just said, it's why you're trying to be nice.
Where's the joke? What's up? Huh? Alright.
I go to school.
I didn't go to school either.
Why did you?
I didn't want to. Bro. I do. What?
What's your favorite level?
10.
Where you at?
I literally joined you. I joined your party the other day, but you weren't talking.
Because I was home, right? Did you want to help me back?
I got a new vape.
So what?
I got a new vape. I got a new vape. Yes, you do. You literally told me one day at school, you're like, I just hit a vape. Nah, bro. So? You get buzzed.
Then actually think about it, You're barely getting high, and you don't even know the causes of this. All right, I just smoke weed. Because that ain't gonna be enough. And the causes, and that's what you know.
Yeah, I know, I smoked it. So you smoked a weirdo? Cause he juice. Oh, I'll re-download it.
What?
So I'll re-download it.